Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the B stream, the backup stream, Stream Bravo, where I'm here with Roddy. Roddy, here is our intimate web camera where we will share this private moment.
Oh, I can't wait to call it up next to you, Sean.
Look at us.
Oh, actually, we have a preview monitor.
There we are. It's all the way over there. Look at my nose. Oh my God! I didn't realize my nose was quite so curved. Look at that. Wow.
This is the good side of my face as well, so I'm just going to keep my face like this.
That's. I mean, you do have a beautiful profile, Rotterdam. For me, I think that my nose would make an excellent trowel.
Either way, we are going to bring you guys the next best of 3, which is going to be played between MajOr and the Barcode Protoss. The Barcode Protoss, who is going to be?
E.G. Huck.
Ooh, a little bit of a rematch of earlier this weekend. No, actually, that's not correct. MajOr played against Puck, but he never played against Huck. This is interesting, Sean. I have no idea how this one is going to go.
Yeah, I think that's really important that you bring up the fact that there's a rivalry that goes beyond the game. In this circumstance, you know, we have MajOr going up against Huck at the Red Bull Battlegrounds North America event. They tried to team up to outvote the Korean players, do a little clever counter-picking. And what we actually found out happened is that everybody backstabbed everybody and Huck blamed MajOr. Now, these two, they kind of have an interesting little bit of history outside of that in the context of this event. Huck is going to be the second place person in his group. He's 2-0, with Violet being 3-0. So if Huck wins this, he's in top 2.
And that's going to be really cool, especially because Huck will go up against Violet later today. Of course. Oh, it's a gas first over there for MajOr.
Oh my God. You know, I will say, if there's one thing that the Smash community has taught me, it means there's no reason not to be hyped at any point.
All right.
Oh, it's a gas! Now, if any of you are unfamiliar with build orders, then actually you should probably tune into another stream, because we're going to use that term a lot. Build order. If you go gas first, you have just enough gas to get a factory the second that your barracks finishes. It's used for ultra fast drop play. And what do you think it plays out like on this map?
It's definitely good, and I'm not sure how Huck is going to open. Over a few times I've seen Huck open pretty safe though. 1 gate fast expand is pretty popular for him in this matchup. And if he follows it up with a robo, he might be in an okay position. He is sending out the probe scout as well, and it's really important that this probe scout sees something. If it sees that there is no command center there, that would already be fantastic. I think it's cool to see that MajOr is going to bring the aggression to Huck. But once more, super important series for Huck. If he wins this one and it goes 3-0, then we might see a fantastic series later today against Violet, where things are starting to become very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these early matches, you sort of feel the intuition of pressure. Like, I know I should probably be increasingly concerned. But what we actually wind up seeing is that as you're closing it out, God, do those last matches feel impactful. And here we see, oh my gosh, oh my goodness.
Oh my
It's
damn.
a proxy. Oh my damn.
This can go one way or the other, Sean, as I like to say, which obviously goes for a lot of things in life. But the target will be warped in. The oracles are going to arrive extremely quickly in the main base of MajOr. If MajOr keeps Wither Mines at home, however, he should be more than fine. But what if he sends all of his units across the map by the time that the oracle is going to fly in? Then things can actually get very dicey. Now, the oracle will arrive before a medevac is ever out on the map. So this means that if MajOr sees it in time, he will be aware of it, and he shouldn't send his units out unless he wants to go very crazy. But it's cool to see Huck not being afraid to switch it up, not always going for that 1 gate fast expand. Instead, go a little crazy over here.
Now, what has MajOr seen? Is MajOr suspecting it? Oh, he's scouting the classic spot. Now, everyone always scouts the spot because this is the opposite side of the ramp. So, you know, general intuition would say, build it in the easiest to hide spot. But here,
Zealot.
Huck's doing a little bit of meta-ing. He's doing a little bit of meta-ing.
The Zealot is actually going to be blown up immediately by this Wither Mine. I'm not sure if Huck was looking at his Zealot. If he did, then now he knows that there is at least 1 Wither Mine. There is a second Wither Mine in production, but it's not ready yet. This also means that there is nothing to do with this Oracle other than 5 Marines. 5 Marines is just barely enough, but not if the Stalker also helps out.
Oh my God, it's a Stalker Oracle push. What even? What is even? What is happening? Oh, that Stalker better get out of there fast.
Now this is kind of awkward, because now MajOr knows there is an Oracle. Huck knows that he's not going to be able to expand for a while because of this engineering bay. I'm curious to see if he's going to wipe in a Zealot at home. He could also wipe in a lot of gateway units on the other side of the map. Most likely this is going to be a short and explosive game though, as that engineering bay is getting a lot of HP and Huck will not be able to expand for the longest amount of time. He's going to fly in perhaps with 2 oracles, but there are 2 Widow Mines. One of them is kind of well hidden.
Oh, Huck is really maximizing value out of this oracle, but be careful! Oh my god, he sees the ripple, he sees the ripple.
So far the Oracle has not died. Now Major picks up both Widow Mines. This is a very ballsy play. There is a Forge at home. I have no idea when he wiped in the Forge. So he's going to get a cannon in his mineral line. That is fantastic news. The Oracle is going to fly into the mineral line. Will eventually die, not before picking up a few Marines. I think it's safe to say that so far this has not been the economic damage that Huck was hoping for. Then again, Major has also not been able to do anything at all on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, Major has been hoping for a chance to get an expand up and hoping to make Huck feel bad with all the mine drops, but God, has that ever not materialized. Both of them are relatively even in worker count, but of course Protoss edging it out thanks to Chrono Boost. Oracle's going to try to take a round to dip in, and it looks like of the 3 Widow Mines, oh, there is one that doesn't come off mines duds so frequently, and Huck manages to escape with his life yet again.
If Huck, he is currently on 2 gateways, if he would have had 3 and start wiping in some stalkers on the other side of the map, I actually think he would just straight up win the game against just a few Marines with no bunker. And yes, there is a Widow Mine, but that is about it. But Huck does not want to commit to anything. He's worried about the Widow Mines that will be dropped on his side of the map, and I can't fault him for that.
Yeah, I think that this choice to slowly tech up to Dark Templar makes a ton of sense. It's got to be DTs. If he goes Blink here, I'm going to just begin to be a great confused person.
I think he's gonna go Blink.
Really?
Yes, I'm sorry, Sean. I don't want to be that guy. Don't make me be that guy.
No, please. No, I love it. I love being told no, Sean. False. Because then it expands the brain. I mean, DTs is a play that Huck has done many times in the past, but of course Blink is an essential piece to any Protoss arsenal.
Alright, well, these stalkers are here. There is still no bunker. Yes, there is a Widow Mine. He could eventually use the Oracle for Envision. But with 6 stalkers, right now with 2 more being wiped in, I can actually see Huck just straight up win the game over here. There is no stim pack yet. The Marine count is non-existent.
Gosh, Huck playing fantastically. Always his game judgment is exceptional. Always manages to figure out in these noodly positions what the right play is. If that dies, that will set Major back to the Terran Stone Age. Oh my god, he's going to give hatchets to the Marines now.
Wow, this damage, I don't really understand why the reaction time from Major was so slow that he didn't even try to react and try to repair that tech lab. But you are completely right. This is Terran in the Stone Age. Well, Sean, we were both wrong. Isn't that amazing?
Dang, I don't think you and I have ever both been wrong. That's why whenever I make a big life decision, I consult you and me.
Well, Charge is going to be the follow-up choice for Huck, which of course allows him to have some more DPS to work with, or at least in a straight-up engagement, he's going to be a little stronger. He's not going to be able to finish off the game, but picking off Stim, that is so massive.
Eliminating Stim. Oh my gosh, and another Oracle coming out. Classic Huck.
And with 2 Widow Mines in the main, but nothing in, or in the network, excuse me, but nothing in the main. 1 Oracle can actually do quite some work in the main base. Perhaps pull units out of position. Now we also see the Templar Archives being wiped in. Huck is still sitting at 43 workers against only the 34 of Major. I think it's safe to say that this opening has worked out very well for Huck.
Yeah, the opening stage was wild. I don't really know how Huck managed to swim his way through all this confusion to this beneficial spot, but down goes 1, 2, looks like 3, 4 are going to fall. And per usual, being the Sesame Street watcher that he's known to be, he's going to count up to 6, 7, 8.
Man, Huck is just putting himself in a great position. As a Protoss, you always want to be ahead a few workers, but currently he is 13 workers ahead. He is actually going to fire up Storm even before Stim is ready. Now that's not something we see every single day in a game of StarCraft 2. He's getting a Robo. Major has not been able to play the type of game that he wants. If you open up with gas first, you want to be the one that makes stuff happen. You just don't want to sit back and like worry about oracles and all those annoying things in life.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be doing a little bit more action. You want to be getting into the game. And here, 5 gateways. Ooh, Huck wants to close this puppy out. I mean, we talked so much about Huck and what Huck's doing. Let's spend some time with Major. All right, Major's losing SCVs. It's natural.
This is not a very good thing to do. Yes, this Oracle has 11 kills. This is a relatively scary push that's coming in from Major, but If it's a 3-base Protoss, then he could have done some serious work. But Huck is sitting on 2 bases. He can drop a Time Walk. He can drop Photon Overcharge. Storm is even ready. He has charge already with those 5 gateways that you mentioned, Sean. I don't think that MajOr is going to be able to do the damage here that he's looking for.
Well, one Storm. Whoa!
Wow.
Double duds get landed. More Zealots get morphed in. Beautiful, beautiful force fields. Equally gorgeous, fast pickup. And what was once a game that was clearly in the hands of Huck, we see that MajOr's trademark stunning micro is really starting to give him some more opportunities.
Now the Oracle is still very annoying on the other side of the map. Barely has any energy, but still picks up one more SCV. MajOr decides to drop a third command center. Now that's relatively interesting because he's so low in economy. And you would almost feel that perhaps pushing out more units is a better choice. But then again, it could also be that he just doesn't feel like running into a brick wall. That's Storm and Photon Overcharge. So maybe this is the right play, and he might actually be able to cancel this base.
Oh my god! Channeling his inner pulse, darts up, picks it off, gets a little bit of extra value out of the mine. And, you know, the usual gameplay you see. It's Marine, Marauder, Medevac versus the Protoss, but those mines, oh my god, those mines are so dirty versus big Zealot balls.
Yes, they are. And slowly but steady, I feel this is going better and better for MajOr. Aren't you surprised, Sean, sometimes that we don't see feedback being used all that often? I really think feedback in the previous fight would have been so much more useful than those 2 storms that completely whiffed.
Yeah.
Like again, another storm that just kind of whiffs, doesn't really connect with anything. These bio units will be healed up for days. Huck is going to storm drop on the other side of the map, which is very exciting.
MajOr's natural, he's moving in, and it looks like the drop kind of gets off. Oh, not the best storms at all. Oh my god, absolutely whiffing everything. And in the main, we see very nice storms manage to successfully land on all the things.
And MajOr is now up in supply though, and this is actually kind of a frustrating base to deal with as well. There is still no blink, so it's not like he's going to have an easy time dealing with these medevacs. There is just a lot of stuff going on all around the map now. The Hawk is just trying to stabilize. Now that storm was a good one. This time, Sean, I would have dropped the storm too. No feedback.
Sometimes you got to do storms. Sometimes you got to do feedback. The important thing is that you have storms.
That Warp Prism is still active as well over here in the north side of the map, but it will get picked off now by MajOr. MajOr has done a good job though in finding his way back into this game and even finding himself in a pretty okay position in my opinion. The upgrades for Hawk are not fantastic. He still does not have Blink, which I think is amazing because he has so many Stalkers. He has 7. I really think that's quite a lot in a PvT, especially if you're playing it without Blink.
This is kind of a funky position. Normally we would have seen Colossus. It's so rare to see Templar be the standard opening because mines just rock the Zealots so hard. And then it means that if you went Storm, you have to land every Storm. So I'm both thrilled to see that we're getting a Storm game, but also impressed that Huck's been able to hold on very well, very solidly. He did get that very early lead, but I mean, I can't emphasize enough how tough it is to go for that Zealot High Templar play in the current meta.
Yeah, it really is, but he was able to get away with it because he was also able to snipe Stim. That obviously slowed everything from MajOr down so incredibly much.
Well, right now, relatively even supplies. We have the Scouting Stargate. Wants to grow up and be a Vespene Gas Geyser one day and help out the enemies. That's pretty cool.
A couple of High Templars going to try to storm this mineral line over here, but MajOr is aware of it. Excellent minimap awareness, though, by MajOr.
Classic MajOr, just great fundamentals. Moving forward, carefully splitting. Not the best dodge, but also not the best storms.
Yeah, I wonder how many High Templars more we have on the map. We only have 5, and I feel most of them use some of their energy already. But these Zealots do have +3 armor, and +3 armor just does terrible things to bio units. And these Zealots just refuse to die. It's like a terrible Die Hard movie with Bruce Willis and someone else who refuses to die. The +3 Zealot.
They refuse to die, brothers. Now, in this dangerous position for Huck, he has to advance towards the mines, and as we see, that can be a rather anti-fun position to be in. The maneuverability is very high. Uh-oh! Dropping in the main base. Is he going to get +2? 2 seconds left, and it finishes. Very nice. Big lucky moment. Huck, no!
Oh! Feedback. So many medevacs. Those were all guaranteed kills. The Storm does some damage as well. There is still no Blink, and I really think this is crazy. I really feel that Huck had the money to get Blink. He is getting a Robo Bay and a second robotics facility, and he's doing some real work with these Zealots on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, right now the Zealots, from the start of the game, combined with the Oracles have killed off a grand total of 47 SCVs.
Huck also going up to 4 bases during all this and starts being aggressive for the first time. All of these mines are very exposed. He will be able to jump on top of them, and he has like 25 or 30 Zealots with +3 armor, +1 attack. Mines are good, Sean, but these are still very scary units to deal with.
What great counteroffensive by Huck. He's warmly accepting the big counterattacks that Polk has become famous for. If there's enough Templar on the defensive side of things, though, you easily get the big edge as Protoss by being able to shut these forces down.
Pretty excited to see how this craziness plays out. Huck lost a lot of units. He also lost one of his nexus. He does have a 4th base, but still, Sean, he does not have Blink, so he's going to have a nightmare dealing with this. He has lost all of his Stalkers. I feel this is going from bad to worse for Huck.
Yeah, I mean, you said so many times, where is Blink, where's Blink, where's Blink? It is like the most important tool for Protoss versus these very, very medevac-heavy Terran players. And as we're seeing MajOr retake his 3rd, we want to say that MajOr's starting to get a nice leg up in this game, but it's 19 SCVs to 60 workers, the only opportunity that MajOr has. Well, Huck is kind of low on Nexi.
Yeah, and Huck is spreading himself incredibly thin as well, like going up to 4 bases. While there's so many High Templars, those are some good storms, pushing those units back immediately. And +2 is about to finish up as well. But Huck has no vision at all on the left side of this map. A lot of units are making their way towards its 4th base. I'm not sure if Huck's going to be able to save it, but at the same time, he's once again going to pick up a lot of these mules. This is actually a very fun game to watch.
Very all over the
place. Oh, those probes!
Just barely saved themselves. Archons are now moving forward. They're going to get eliminated fast. PS, mines do bonus damage versus shields. Another lift, 21 to 57 is the worker count. We're seeing attempted multi-pronged attacks by Terran continue, but I mean, Huck is... I don't even really know what to do other than make that odd noise.
I want to try to make that noise too, but I'm not ready yet.
What you do is you make M and then an N, and then you just do it in slow motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel too if I was Huck. He's getting Colossus now. That's good. In a straight-up fight, Huck is obviously a lot stronger than MajOr. He has +3 armor, +2 attack. That's all fantastic. But he is making this game very hard on himself by spreading himself all across the map. It is 115 army supply against 74 currently. That is pretty massive.
Yeah, Huck is playing brilliant and reckless in these games. We see him able to pull huge advantages, fall behind with botched attacks. I mean, storm drops like the one we're seeing get set up, they're the kind of play that can end games. I mean, when your opponent has hardly any workers and you land the key storm, you did it. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for MajOr to ever secure an additional base. Just now thermal lens is being researched. I thought it was ready already. MajOr would love nothing more than fighting a few units of Huck at a time and then eventually just pick him apart with his bigger army. He will cancel that 4th base again. Storm is going to do a little bit of damage and maybe pick up a Widow Mine. No, not even that. Shame on the 10% on the Widow Mine. The 10 HP.
Well, look at the most noble long path warp prism dedicated to moving in. Well, does he see it? It was barely in vision range.
Oh my god, if those Marines stem forward.
Oh, it's going to miss it. Only 34 workers right now for Terran.
There are armies all around
moving down.
Yep, there are lots of 6 storms by Huck.
Oh my god, 19 workers again. Drop in the main base again. Colossus and 2 Archons, 2 Templar there to greet.
Okay, there are Widow Mines left behind. That's kind of interesting. Might get a few of these Zealots. Does not get the Observer, unfortunately. MajOr's going to unload these units again. He wants to do more work, but this one Colossus is making his life so incredibly difficult. Oh my god, Huck with the 6 storms all over these units.
Who needs Blink when you're just going to do that? Marching forward, there's the GG. That was a rather sexy game that we got to see. Yeah. I mean, it was messy. It was dirty, it was impromptu decision making, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. Basically a very scrappy game from start to finish, which could have ended very early on, but it didn't go that way. But Huck getting the snipe on Stim just allowed him to get away with so many things.
Yeah, you know what? I really feel like if we had to label the key moment in that game, it wouldn't be any storm, it wouldn't even be that storm drop at the end. It was the killing of the Stim that is so bad. We would honestly describe that as bad, sad bad, I think, for our Terran player. My analysis is top-notch.
It is. It's actually spot on. I just don't even know what to say. You know, I'm just gonna quote Ronald Keating from now on, and like I say it best when I say nothing at all.
Oh,
it's all you.
Oh, I like that. 100% day 9 here. Roddy, my left-hand man, will accompany me throughout to our next match on Overgrowth, and I think this is a fairly even, fairly reasonable map for both people. I don't really feel like there's a particular edge for either player in this matchup. It's pretty comfortable to defend against drops as Protoss. It's okay in the big engagements in the end game for Terran.
I feel I totally agree with you. I think it's a very even map. But what is also cool is that Hawk right now is 2-0 in best of 3s, 1-0 in map. You know, Hawk is a player that often does get criticized as well every now and then for his playstyle, but he's been such a stable force in the North American scene.
I mean,
if we would have had, yeah, it is, because if we would have had more region-lock tournaments, Hawk would have still been the same champion that he was in 2011, 2012, as he is right now, because he is winning a lot of games lately against the absolute best players that North America has to offer.
Even when he does do it in a very dirty, disorganized way. Let's hop into the game. Up in yonder top right corner from Team Evil Geniuses, sporting himself a lead of 1. It's E.G. Huck. And down in yonder bottom left corner, his ID is Shofu, and he has 40 other IDs as well. It's MajOr. Arr. Yar.
MajOr is most likely going to open up a little different this game. I don't think we're going to see that mine opening once more, even though it's unlikely that Huck's going to go for his target again, which worked out actually very well. You know, on paper it's like, oh, if you make an Oracle and you lose it, you have no detection for the longest time, and Widow Mines can really kill you on the other side of the map. But the opposite was true in this case, because the Oracles actually forced everything to stay at home for the longest time and allowed Huck to get away with a lot of things.
You know, it thrills me so much to see these games unfold over such a long period of time, because, I mean, how many times did we see matches where it would be Mines versus Oracles and the game would be done in 8 minutes? One of the cheesy things would work and the other would fall apart. Here we're really seeing people who know all the possible deviations that can emerge and how to stay alive in them.
Yep, we do see a Rex opening into a refinery once more, but this much more looks like a Reaper fast expand. Curious to see how many Rexes MajOr is going to follow it up with. I think it's going to be 2. It could also be 3 if he wants to trick Huck a little bit. And Huck is a player that does take some risk every now and then in his opening. So a 3 Rex follow-up after the command center on the low ground is not a terrible idea at all.
Well, let's get a count of how many are going into the gas. It looks like he's starting with 2 and 2. The very I'm not revealing anything style of opening, and I really think this is one of my favorite kind of frequent moves that we see out of people. You just put 2 and 2 in there, and later toss some extra dudes in there. It will cut out a couple of super gas-heavy builds, but not really that many at all.
I couldn't agree more. The SV is making his way across the map. MajOr is going to see that so far everything looks very standard, and he also sees this third pylon being wiped in, and that's actually pretty important, because from this point on he knows that this time the pylon is where it's supposed to be, and there is not some hidden pylon out somewhere around the map warping in a proxy's target or anything like that.
Now with that Zealot arriving, I mean, what do you make of the Zealot?
I think that Huck wants to march across the map and hope that MajOr plays this very greedy and doesn't drop his bunker in time, so this Zealot can be annoying, can perhaps get a slice off on this bunker, but MajOr's already dropping the bunker on the other side of the map.
Well, there was a chrono boost on both the Mothership Core and the Stalker, so this is going to be a pretty fast push. I mean, MajOr is kinging it up with the micro. It's the Bush games.
Hide and seek, next level in StarCraft 2 universe.
Next level Bush.
Either way, we do see that the bunker got dropped in time. So with this, with these Marines on the way, I think MajOr should be more than fine. He really shouldn't take that much damage. Interestingly enough, I think he followed this up with a factory immediately, and we're currently sitting on 1 Rex.
Yeah.
So it's a 1 Rex into a factory, which includes a command center. Now that is a little bit unusual. And also the Stargate follow-up in this phase in the game, I also find unusual, especially from Huck.
Oh yes, and now it looks like this Reaper, we're really starting to see all the pieces come together. This is a play that lets Huck get all the info and lets Major get none of the info. I mean, you might want to overcomplicate it by talking about the rushes and all the links, but that's all that's really happening here. These two units force this Reaper to stay back.
The Marine's actually out of position, so Huck is doing this really well. Has completely ignored this Reaper now. He's actually going to leave. I would have loved to see him try it a little more with a time warp. I think the Zealot and the Stalker could have been very annoying, but it's also very micro-intensive, and perhaps he feels he should prioritize home. Recall!
Yeah, that would be amazing. Just warps back home for just the guy. And I mean, Major had to keep the Reaper back home, couldn't get any scouting in, couldn't spot the Stargate. Huck got to get all the way deep into the base with the Mothership Core. The Zealot and the Stalker were a nice escort for the Mothership Core to allow it to get to the base right on time. Beautiful play. And the luckiest.
Oh, the Reaper.
Oh, my God. He didn't see it.
No, I don't think he saw it. I think the Oracle was on the high ground all along. Reaper might still be able to find the Stargate, but it's heading to the right, the wrong side of the base.
Oh, my God.
Wow,
oh, my God. Major's going to be like, I know it. He's going for a Warp Gate attack. And it's a wall. It dies in the main base. No way. Spider Sense is going crazy for Major.
Okay, well, that is great. He also has a Widowmine out on the map, so Major should be fine. Second Oracle on the way now. This could be one of those crazy Oracle builds where he makes 3 or 4 Oracles.
Love those.
You love anything that's crazy, Sean.
Oh, of course I do. I'm a fan of esports. Looks like we're going to see that Widowmine get burrowed. Will Huck notice it? Very no. Down in the bottom right. Will he notice it?
Is there a Widowmine here? No, right?
No.
But there are a lot of Marines. So Huck not really getting a hold. Oh my God! Misclick with the Oracle.
Very clear misclick there, yeah.
It's really annoying because you can't actually scroll down with your camera anymore once you're looking at the natural. Because normally what you do is like you kind of move your mouse to the right bottom, so your like camera view moves a bit, and then you send the Oracle there. But here it actually doesn't really move, so sometimes it doesn't move, and then you make a fatal misclick with your Oracle. Huck losing 2 Oracles for just like a few SVs.
And as we see over on Major's side of things, everything is in motion. He has the mines that are great for controlling space and also have given him that feeling of safety. He now has 3 barracks, and he can begin to get stim and combat shield and get the medevacs. He's got to start those fast, though. He's running ever so slightly low on gas.
There's a photon overcharge going down in the main base. That's Widowmine. Will Burrow is going to get a 6 shot. Oh my God. 5 probes going down. There is an observer. Okay, it's making its way over, so that's the only damage that will get done. But I will always trade my Widowmine for 5 probes.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the correct choice to do. It's unlikely to be wrong at this stage. +1, a coming. I think we kind of hit a similar spot to this last game where Major finally got into his rhythm with the 3 barracks, with the medevac production, and he was able to use his superior micro to really edge Huck out in a number of these small unit engagements. What do you think we're going to be seeing as really the key for Huck to not fall behind in those spots?
I think he's going to have to be defensive now for a while. He's opening up with a Robo Bay. Hopefully for him, I mean, I guess he's going to hope that Major will slightly overcommit, try to break him when it's not really possible, and he might be able to do some economic damage in return on the other side of the map with the Warp Prism. He also has vision because of the Observer, so he can definitely combine those things. But still, this is definitely looking rather tricky for Huck. He's nowhere near in as good of a position as he was last game, and even in the last game he struggled a little bit.
Well, it looks like an attempted Warp Prism on the left side, and amazingly a Widowmine is there to greet it. And, well, it's not burrowed, never mind. So, amazingly the Widowmine is not there to greet it.
I did greet it, just didn't want to fire. Sometimes his mind just sick of firing.
Yeah, I like a pacifist Widowmine. Uh-oh, a non-pacifist Widowmine.
It's really funny that one Widowmine in the left top just refuses to burrow. He does have probably more vision range, right? When he's unburrowed. Oh my God, the Warp Prism is flying straight into the Widowmine.
No.
Wow, it survives.
And in the meantime, only Marines and a medevac. A force designed to be microed.
Yep, does lose 2 of these Marines almost immediately. Colossus will march forward and break the force fields. So this is still not all that bad for our Chris Loranger. These Zealots are going to take care of this Widowmine eventually.
Oh, this fight.
This is actually the most hyped fight we've seen today.
Oh my God. This has actually turned into a wild interaction. No, it loses the warp prism. So good by Major. Oh, all these little relationships of all these little units. Oh my god, Mr. Mine.
Well, it does a lot of damage on this Colossus. Takes out the entirety of the shields and even some of the real HP damage as well.
Yeah, donked him in the head.
Twilight being wiped in. Is it going to be Blink this time, Sean? It is going to be Blink. Tell me it's Blink. Don't tell me it's just for +2 armor.
He's going to get charge. Watch this.
No.
The correct choice, I think, is clear. You have to get Blink in this position. I think you need to Chrono Boost Blink and then Chrono Boost Charge immediately thereafter. You're very far behind on your core units being able to go toe-to-toe. It's not. Nope, it's going to be.
Ah, you're right with charge. I'm very surprised. Once again, the Stalker count, I mean, it's at 5, but when you play with Colossus, I feel you want to make Stalkers to protect your Colossus. I'm a little bit surprised, like, how Hawk is doing. Does he have thermal lens?
I mean,
it's a fake Colossus build.
I mean,
okay.
There is an argument to be made for that, where you do that swift switcheroo, and a lot of it can be quite powerful in this situation where you have a lot of high-energy medevacs. Uh-oh.
Hawk actually does not see this drop unfold in the main base. This can take a lot. This can do a lot of damage. There are a few Zealots and Cannons to buy time, but Major with a lot of buy units in the main base now is going to be able to do some serious work. Hawk is way out of position.
Oh, Mothership Core is about to be in a very vulnerable position. Needs to be very careful. Throws down a Time Warp. Nexus taking a little bit of fire, but an immediate retreat. And I love that conservative play. I like when a Terran is doing those drops and getting out without losing units. It's so tempting to stay in there and see, juicy structure and try to pick off, another pylon, another few probes or something like that. But just keep the damn units alive. They work great in straight-up engagements.
160 supply currently for Major against the 118 from Hawk. Definitely tells the story that Major is doing pretty damn good. But we all know that it's hard to finish off a Protoss that is just sitting back and enjoying his 3-base economy, especially when he has Colossus and Storm. Now Storm is not ready just yet, so there might be one more window of opportunity for Major to do some real work with all these bio units.
Well, Major is starting to do the join together. He's keeping them split apart for now, but they're getting ever closer together, which will give Major the opportunity to join together into a big fight. Very smart moves coming up here by Huck. Force fields aren't going to be as important anymore. She needs to conserve her Guardian Shield. There's the engagement at the natural expansion. Mothership Core moves up. She dies. That'll let Huck rebuild it, and it'll have more energy, but the natural expansion Nexus is still under fire, and Huck is elected to continue to engage the small force on the left.
Yeah, which means he's going to lose so much in his natural. He might actually end up losing this Nexus over here. Just, he's not going to make it with a couple of Zealots. You can wipe in as many Zealots as you want, but you are going to lose. However, this counterattack looks intimidating. Half the army is fake, though, so maybe it's not as intimidating as it looks. And Hawk is going to retreat after losing that base. That's pretty painful, Sean.
Huck cannot seem to really find an answer to this, and this is not a particularly intimidating drop. It's just 2 medevacs worth of things, already managing to get a Nexus, hundreds of resources worth of units being warped in and tossed away for free. Major, I think, maximized the value of this attack.
Yeah, he did extremely well with that. Hawk losing 6,000 resources already in this game, even lost some High Templars that he tried to wipe in and to help out against these pushes. 2-2 is on the way for Major, while Hawk is sitting currently on 1-2, but then again, as a Protoss, you never want to be in an upgrade disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, with an upgrade disadvantage against Terran, your Zealots and Stalkers and Archons feel way worse. I mean, they obviously are worse, but I mean, you feel their uselessness. If you are ahead of a Terran upgrade, suddenly you feel their usefulness so powerfully. I mean, the basic units, you don't even really need much gas if you get that upgrade lead. Oh my god, what a disastrous positioning error from Major.
Oh my god, look at all the medevacs. They're all so low on HP. There are not too many bio units left either. Stalkers do not have Blink, so they can't get close enough, but every shot is dead medevac pretty much. Archon gets the tip in. He will alley-oop that one medevac. There's 2 cannons there. These medevacs are so trapped.
Oh my god, any storm, any shot. And then it's see you later, medevacs.
Hawk is going to try to counterattack now, capitalize on that victory he just had. Is there storm here? Yeah, there was, but he's miscontrolling the High Templars.
Oh no, Hawk!
Wow.
Oh my god. No, I mean, like, killing these 3 medevacs and then Huck's counterswing is going to deal massive damage. Look at this, already a pull from Major. Major knows the threat he's under, he knows the pressure he's under.
Yeah, he does have this Marina Zone like Watchtower, is going to help out a lot. It's going to see that army. There is one more cluster in production. Huck still does not have thermal lens. I wonder if he's aware of that. He's getting a second robotics facility now. Well, if he didn't have thermal lens yet, he definitely wants to get it now. Archons and Stalkers are going to use work on this fourth command center. Won't be able to get it though. There are a lot of ghosts on the way as well, and at the same time, there's still a hit squad on the north side of the map.
God, the value that Major is able to squeeze out of these small packs of units. I mean, they're going to be able to get away, but notice how about to die all the medevacs are.
Yes, there is a cannon here, so this time this medevac will finally die. Yes, it does, and the other medevacs are empty. Huck, I really don't think he's aware of the fact that he doesn't have thermal lens, Sean.
I mean, he will when he gets his first fight. I mean, in that big battle, every one of those Vikings got ripped to shreds. I am shocked that Major accepted so much damage from those storms. I really don't know what was happening.
Yeah, that's pretty uncharacteristic as well. In general, he's close to a foreign god when it comes to splits.
Well, you know, he spoke to me briefly after his series with TLO, and he said, yeah, I remember that Baneling bust in Game 1? My mouse wasn't really working. And we even saw him pause later on in that series, complaining about his mouse. If it is his mouse that's acting up, there's only so much acceptance of those comments that you can have. You want to just say, like, well, if you're a pro, then fix your mouse. I mean, that's like so critical. If that is the reason that Major falls down in this game, I mean, a simple hardware issue would just be a devastating reason to get jettisoned from MLG.
That Protoss army is suddenly pretty terrifying. There are a lot of ghosts on the map though, and there is a big drop going to the main base as well. Major's playing very fancy, but he's also making this risky, Sean. He's playing with fire. He's going to end up losing this planetary fortress, unless he's going to try to save it, but I can't imagine that's the case. Major has so many ghosts though, I didn't see that at all. He has like 14 ghosts currently. 14,
well, it's an only ghost army. And again at the front, Major, what is going on? All the ghosts at the front, not cloaked, not repositioning, EMPs land. But one of the poorer engagements we've seen out of Major. Fortunately for Major, he's able to do great damage with these drops in the main and third.
Yeah, he's just been doing a lot of damage all over the place. He's been richer than Huck for a long time. Has more units to work with, and we can see that pay dividend now. As he's picking off High Templars, he's going to be able to pick up these cannons, sniping Nexus left and right, or at least he's trying to do so. In the end, Huck will stabilize, but Huck just did not have the right amount of units to deal with it. If he would have used his High Templars a little better a few times, and he would have had an easy time dealing with these drops, we could have been looking at a different game.
Yeah, I mean, with some players, you see, it's like a match between two kung fu super masters. But this is a bar fight. It's messy. They're pushing each other into tables. Stuff's just getting grabbing pool cues and banging it over each other's heads. There's a lot of inelegance in these engagements.
Major picking up more and more High Templars. He's getting the Archons as well. He's doubling the army supply of Huck. And Huck, without this base, still without thermal lens as well. Imagine that fight could have gone different without thermal lens. Maybe those Colossus would have lived for a little longer. But it's not going to matter as GG is called. And Major will even up the series and win game number 2 on Overgrowth.
Very sloppy.
Yes.
Very, very unusually sloppy. You know, and I always think that these MLG events are very interesting for witnessing that, where you will see big variance in players' ability to play. That's something I really enjoyed about watching Puck play in the first day of the Red Bull Invitational. Fairly consistent. I mean, the games themselves had big swells of brilliance and then some missteps and more swells of brilliance, but we're seeing, I think, Major play at a level below what he's really at.
Yes, but he's still trying to do things very major. Like a few times, a lot of Terrans, if they're in a good position, they just keep all their units together and be like, hey, in a big engagement now, I'm going to win. Major is playing with fire, where he's sending out like 3 medevacs full of units on the right side, has a medevac on the left top side, and then just like keeps the rest of his army in one position, which means that if Huck sends everything to one fight, he's definitely going to crush that part of the engagement. There's no question about it. However, in the end, it worked out for Major, so who are we to say anything about it, Sean? We are nobody.
Well, you know what? We are people to say something about it, because this is game 3. Now, if Major continues with what you were talking about, splits his army up, identifies those weak points. We saw him snipe 2 Nexuses basically for free, because he managed to figure out the right angles to avoid Huck's army. If Huck plays a little more defensively, we saw the 2 big engagements. First, the gigantic storms that just eviscerated the Vikings almost killed all the medevacs. The second attack with the ghost at the front, everything died there. Or everything should have died there had Huck's army not been as small. I really genuinely think that if Huck just plays a little more conservatively, a little bit more carefully and defensively, he'll be able to get a nice edge. If MajOr, though, maintains his organization and his just general composure during those battles, I would give the MajOr the favorite in this matchup altogether.
But it's really funny how this matchup plays out, because for the longest time drops were a pain to deal with, and everyone got High Templars and Blink, and you don't want to drop a Protoss who has Blink and High Templars. However, if Protoss players refuse to get Blink again, then there is no stopping MajOr and just dropping all over again. And Habitation is actually a great map for a lot of drops. Despite this being a small map, there are a lot of ways to fly into the main base. There's a lot of surface area. You can even flirt around with like flying near the edge of the top of the base and fly in from the back.
Yeah.
If Hawk plays without Blink, it's really, in my opinion, the ball is in MajOr's corner to just drop him to death.
Yeah, I really like that point you bring up. Man, autopilot, I think, is the curse of people who try hard but don't get a lot of opportunity to play. They have their build that they do. It's part of the meta. I really like this drop heavy style, and they're just getting killed by Blink, and they're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to change to a different style. And they forget that you can drop if they don't have Blink, which is, as you say, super duper effective. Over
here on the left top side of the map, we have the EG Protoss, who's currently 2-0 in best of threes. It is our very own Chris Loranger, Huck. And Huck is, of course, going up against our Mexican Terran. He was able to finish top 3 in the Battlegrounds North America last week. Our very dear Juanito, also known as MajOr, Windy, Anaprosa, Quantic Flow, and all the other good names in life.
Love Jess Gill was an ID he famously played in WCG North America on.
MajOr really loves changing his name, doesn't he?
Indeed he do.
It's funny. Some people like refuse to change the name, you know, like there are these guys that were 13 years old and call themselves Vampire Slayer 337 and they rock it until they're 35, and you know, that's cool, they're proud of their name. While MajOr on the other end, he doesn't really get attached to a whole lot of things, does he?
Yeah, you know, I had a friend who had the ID Kool-Aid Man because he liked Kool-Aid, and stuck with that for his whole life. Artosis, another name that's Dan thought of when he was very young.
It's not a bad name. It rolls off the tongue very nicely.
Oh, yeah.
An Artosis.
Artosis. What a name.
You can't really go wrong with an Artosis.
No, of course you can't. Neither metaphorically nor literally.
Do you think there are people in the world who name their children after Artosis?
There's got to be at least one.
Yeah, do you think there's an Artosis somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I got to Google Artosis baby name and look at the graph. And if there's even one bump, Dan will be proud.
That would be so sick. Either way, as we can see, everything is unfolding relatively standard, as it is a gasless opening for MajOr. One of the very few maps, I think, where this is still good, because it's hard for Protoss to scout. They have to run up that ramp. It's kind of frustrating. And on the left top side of the map, we see Huck still with just one gas, so he's switching things up a little bit as well. There's an assimilator running, carrying gas inside. Just a single assimilator, so no two assimilators. He's having, of course, all 3 probes on it, but it's different.
Yeah, I'm liking this sort of long-form implication here. But anytime you see someone go for one gas, and you see nothing, you go, what's going on? In particular, when there's no mothership core, you really start to go, okay, wait, you're getting a Stalker, you're getting a Warp Gate, and you're not getting a mothership core? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see chrono boosting start on Warp Gate or a Stargate plop down. Huck started the mothership core, canceled it. And
Huck just chrono boosted his Nexus as well while being on 26 out of 26. That is very strange. Bronze League heroes!
Oh, and it's a Robo! Now, if you recognize what's happening, well, what I think is happening at least, if you get a Robo at sort of a nice early time, like, you know, a little after 5 minutes, you can play a nice normal game. But if you get it down closer to 4 minutes, like 4:30, you can get the double Immortal and you can pressure. No, it looks like Huck is going to be going Standardo.
Could be a Colossus timing as well, with a lot of Colossus and just gateway units. Either way, I think it's safe to say that Huck is a little bit tired, perhaps, because that is a very uncharacteristic mistake. Huck would never forget his third pylon.
Yeah.
Huck would not chrono boost and Nexus being 26 out of 26. And of course, it's been a long day of StarCraft. It's been a very intense week for Huck as well after playing at the Battlegrounds North America for a few days.
After playing in DreamHack.
Yes, yeah, actually flying in like the morning. So perhaps he's a little exhausted. The fatigue is kicking in. Because so far he's making a couple of very uncharacteristic errors and above all unforced errors.
Ooh, that's a term that needs to come back in. Unforced errors. Ooh, look at this. Mothership Core steps in. He's a very standard mixture. But we see +1 weapons coming out. I mean, there are some Colossus-based builds where you go armor, attack, attack. But what do you make about just going straight for attack?
Yeah, not bad, I guess, but I guess it would have been better to maybe drop the Robo Wave first before even doing that. It could just be a +2 Colossus timing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely shaping up as a very strong 2-base attack. MajOr open up with 3 Rex, which means he's going to have a lot of units to work with at first. But now it's important. Are we going to see a 4th and 5th Rex before before the command center goes down, or is it going to be a command center after the starport and then Rex number 4 and 5?
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of probably clearly coming across in our commentary, but MajOr is doing something fairly typical. Even this Marine pack move out says most Protosses go for 1 gate. Can't deal with this, have to waste an overcharge. But the fact that Huck is doing such weird, crazy stuff gives us a lot more to talk about.
Huck really has to be careful with these 2 Stalkers, which I believe are on move command. He will be able to save them, and he gets a couple of free shots off, so this is really nice. Everybody loves free damage when your Stalker's in the middle of the map against Marines. Has to be careful, doesn't want to use he's going to lose 1.
Only picked off a few Marines there. These 2 sentries, very uncommon for a Protoss player to have, and is going to be incredibly strong.
What prism?
What the prism? Really? Wait, did he? No way, he canceled the Robo? Wait, really?
Did it get scanned, or what exactly happened?
I don't.
It did get scanned. The scan went down, and then he canceled it, and we replaced it with the Twilight Council, the exact same location.
Oh.
But I still feel Huck wants to play 2 base. Like, how is he ever gonna go on 3 bases and secure this?
Yeah, I mean, like, even if it gets scanned, you still kind of want it to finish. Because getting the Colossus swiftly is just so good.
Yeah, even if you only get 1, and then after that you can still go other units. We see a lot of additional gates being wiped in for Huck. No probes on the way just yet. MajOr very wisely left a couple of bio units behind. What a play!
I mean, this is great soul reading. To say, oh, I think something's wrong. Ooh, even better soul reading. Oh, he's going to step in. He's going to chase it down. And I think Huck is just going to carefully run away, having forced a wasted stim. Might even elect to drop after a second stim.
I can't imagine Huck being able to secure 3 bases in the near future. There are a lot of bio units just running up the ramp as well in the natural. I have no idea what this is all about. Force fields will go down. Where is the mothership for when you need her? As he's just on patrol, doesn't really want to use the energy just yet. Good force fields by Huck. He gets a couple of units, might even be able to get a medevac.
Somehow, after all that wiggling around in the main base, Huck finds the spot where he can safely drop the Warp Prism. 2 Vikings almost done. 3rd base actually going to get delayed by this Warp Prism, and Huck, I think, is powering up to just be a 2-base all-in.
Yeah, that's a beautiful scan there by MajOr. He does see pretty much everything. Sees all the gates, sees the Twilight, sees the Templar Archives, but like you mentioned, he's going to be able to pick up that 1 SCV. This command center is going to be delayed. Huck is building probes, so slow but steady. I'm starting to get the idea. But like nothing that Huck's doing is connecting with each other. He's getting attack upgrades while playing Charged Storm. That's like, a man does not do this, Sean.
Okay, well, he is getting his 3rd. Yeah, I guess it was a little bit bold of me to say he's all in. I mean, I almost want to force myself to stop talking about Huck. I mean, for me, I'm trying to solve the problem of what's going on. Everything MajOr's doing, though, is great. Getting the 3rd, getting the right mix of barracks, even swiftly getting this factory, and I think this is very clever placement to have it all the way poached out to this far end. Not only does it spot warp prisms, but you can immediately re-rally mines if you do see an incoming warp prism to help knock it back.
I think Huck has just been very indecisive in this game. I think a few times he thought he had to go for something, and then he changed his mind.
Yeah.
It's a very important game for him. Once more, if Huck wins this game, he will be 3-0 in group stage, which is obviously pretty damn impressive.
MajOr, I think, will be 1-2. He is 1-1 at this point. Lost to Mini Razor, beat TLO, who's having a very hard time. 0-3 in his group right now.
Alrighty.
Well, I mean, you're at least going to be feeling some semblance of safety right now as Huck. You're just like, hey, I got Storm. I got Storm. I got a third, baby.
And he's got some observers out as well. There will be a drop on low unfolding in the main base, trying to force out a photon overcharge. He'll get a couple of zealots in the process. Huck should send some units over, and then he should be fine. I think Major Huck is playing with Fido. He's not really reacting to this yet. He's really worried about the additional forces that are out on the map, and he should be. But Major is playing this out very well so far, capitalizing on the patience of Huck.
Uh-oh, we got the Warp Prism heading into the main. And this is, I think, where we start to see Major slip, or where he's going to seize victory. He's microing in the middle.
Drops.
He's microing in the main. Is he watching his main base? He's not quite. Ooh, at the last second, Major gets a nice recognize.
Oh, Madashivkor just decided to start fighting submarines. That's a fight that Madashivkor does not want to take. Huck is just sending in zealots left and right now. At least he's buying a lot of time for himself. Widow Mines will shoot at stuff and actually do very good. That is a big zealot warp in that Major is going to have a little bit of issue of dealing with.
That's a surprisingly potent move. I don't actually know how Huck was able to pull this one off. Somehow has an Archon in the main, has a force that's taken out the third, in a move that you would call a has-to-be-bad move. Huck has managed to find a miraculous angle of attack.
Yeah, there are 46 SUVs now in the network. It's safe to say that Major is just mining off one base now until we stabilize and at least takes his main. He needs to repair his command center. I'm sure he's aware of that. I felt for a certain moment maybe if all the stocks and sentries would have gone for it immediately, he could have even got it.
I can't believe Huck made that a positive attack for him. That should have been horrific, right? I mean, he was just walking up the ramp to a bunker. I mean, Major, so smart to do this counter, especially with the army down at the south. I
couldn't agree more. The Orbital is still very low on HP. This drop is going to do a lot of damage. Feedbacks this time on the medevac. Perhaps not enough energy for a storm. Here, Huck is just not. Huck has a lot of supply. I'm just not sure where it is, Sean.
Yeah, immediately losing one of the Templar to a mine. Very nice movement happening here by Major. Did lose track of the units in the main base of Huck, which means the aggression is done. We might start to see things calm down a bit, but Major noticeably shaken, having his SCVs too clustered at his natural, now beginning to split it out, now getting back into his groove.
Major is definitely trying to just get things together. He has to resaturate his bases, took a lot of economic damage all over the place. +2 attack, +2 armor is more than halfway done for Major. That could definitely help a lot. But Huck's doing a good job in hanging in there supply-wise and even has quite a bit of money in the bank. I feel that Huck right now is just waiting to spend it all. I think he's on double robo even, so he could start getting turbulence as well. 6 storm drops there from the Prism.
Very clever play there by Huck. Saw the army.
Dropping the main base though.
Oh, whoa, mines do a great job there. Huck is just continuing to drill forward with these oddly 2-1 zealots that are just now hitting 2-2.
Yeah, there's still no thermal lens either on the map. He's producing double Colossus. It seems like this is just a series where Huck hates on thermal lens. It's just like the last thing he wants to see right now is thermal lens.
Yeah, who needs thermal lens anyways?
There we go. Huck does.
You know, I almost want to wonder if the normative move of always getting the +2 armor is even correct. I mean, we're seeing these +2 attack zealots just plow down these units.
Yep. I mean, I think it was once more the indecisiveness. He really wanted to go for the Colossus timing. It got scouted. Yeah. He changed his mind. He's like, well, now I'm stuck with the attack upgrades. I might as well. However, this Colossus tech switch on could be brilliant. Right now we're looking at 2 Vikings. That is nothing. 2 Vikings, you might as well just leave them at home because they're really not going to do a whole lot for you. Huck is going up to 4 bases during all this. He's playing a very interesting style of PvT, and what's even more interesting is that he's somehow getting away with some of the crazy decisions that he has made.
Yeah, I honestly feel like Major just might be confused to a certain extent, but what makes Major such a solid Terran is the fact that he's pulling together. He has 8 barracks, just pumping out units, including mines, including more Vikings and medevacs, and making really cool, really solid decisions again and again, even leaving these mines as reinforcement in the main.
That is really fun. Oh, these Colossus have to be so careful, Sean. Oh my god.
Oh.
He should see them. Colossus should see them. He has an observer in airspace. I mean, that is like the most, that is like a Bermuda Triangle right there.
And he's going to cannon rush him. Oh, only to moderate success.
Well, I really like how Major is doing this. He's just kind of setting up booby traps all around the map.
My
It's
God.
really cool.
Oh my God, you're right. These are booby traps. Dropping the main.
Well, look at how many mines there are in Huck's main base. There are like 6, 7 Widow mines there. You could actually run them all in at the same time.
Ooh.
There are mines all over the place as well. Major cancels the 4th base. This is actually a very fun style of PvT to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the Widow Mines are something that I don't think get enough credit for being
Awesome.
kick-ass in this matchup. Yeah. I mean, they're so good against Zealots, and especially if you start positioning them cleverly, you can just get free kills, especially on probe transfers. What a nice... Blink!
Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, what do you know?
It's like, hey, these medevacs are kind of annoying on habitation station. They keep flying in and out. But you know, there's this thing called Blink, which is pretty damn awesome. Huck agrees with it. He's going to still have to deal with this massive drop in the main base. Again, a lot of Widow Mines are in the mix. Oh my God, the friendly fire was real. Oh my, he's not going to get the Nexus.
Oh no. Oh. Traitor Mines. Oh my gosh, in such an incredibly important match. I mean, these players are so desperate to chew up as many wins as they can, especially with Violet 3-0 in the group. And the Mines are like, here, I'm here to help.
These Zealots are actually in for a rough time as well, though. I think all of them might just die over here. That's pretty sick. These Mines are doing real work for Major in this matchup.
Oh, man. More free units. Mines gobbling up more and more and more. The game's finally calmed down, but what a lucky break there for Huck, not even losing the main Nexus.
Not a big drop on going to the main base, and Huck's army is completely out of position. He really doesn't have a whole lot. He has a bunch of High Templars in the natural, which he could potentially use, but this time this Nexus in the main will fall. There's not really a whole lot to mine anymore, other than like 1,000 gas, which is, I guess, is still enough. A storm will buy some time for Major, but at the same time, Huck is, for Huck, but Huck's just gonna attack. He's gonna kill this planetary fortress on the right bottom side of this map, and will most likely just go all the way in for the kill with his massive Colossus number.
Very nice feedbacks in the main base, reducing those medevacs down to almost no life. Bottom right army's starting to get a little too passive, and I think that there's a big window of opportunity where Huck can move into the natural expansion. Major still maximizing damage with that drop, picking off any warpins he can, picking off any stragglers, but this army's looking very threatening.
Yeah, it does. And the Viking count, I'm just not sure if it's high enough. Okay, he has 14. 14 is good. There are a lot of ghosts in the mix as well. It will all come down to execution. That's actually a pretty good mix that Major has been able to build up, and he's still 30 supply ahead. Army-wise, he's even 40 supply ahead. Wow. Major has done a fantastic job in macroing up.
Oh, I really feel like Huck was in a nice position.
Yeah.
Major with these drops in the main. Look at how few units there are. I mean, this is exactly how Pult has so much success in this matchup.
Yeah, the Templar Archives is going to fall, and that is a really painful loss. It's a lot of gas. You just don't want to waste on buildings in this phase in the game. Huck has still not been able to actually successfully clean up this one drop. 2 Marauders on very low HP will be left behind in the main base. Huck still has a terrifying army, and it will still come down to engagement. Upgrade-wise, he's on 3-3. Major is going to be on 3-3 real soon. The Colossus count will be on 7 against 16 Vikings. Well, it will all come down to will Storm connect to the Vikings? Will Stalkers be able to get in range?
Yeah, I mean, the lack of being able to build a ton of extra Templar is going to just kill Huck. He has 2 Templar out on the field, and there's 16 Vikings.
And 9 ghosts as well. A couple of Marauders will stim up this ramp. This is really important. One of these High Templars actually gets picked off by these 2 Marauders. Stalkers could blink forward there and get a couple of free shots off on these Vikings. Well, this is it, Sean. This is D-Day. This is most likely the fight that will decide the outcome of this best of 3. Will Huck go 3-0, or will Major win this series and put himself in a 2-1 position in this crazy round-robin massive format?
Well, there's 7 Colossi out, and the best part about having 7 Colossi is even though one-shots are abound on the Colossi, they're still going to deal a lot of damage before they fall down. You know, on any other map, I feel like Huck would be in a winnable position, or excuse me, a clearly winning position, because of the fact that he eliminated the 3rd, pulled back, and is securing his extra bases. But the gold really changes everything. Habitation Station really gives you the edge. If you've barely been able to stay alive, you can easily take the gold, your income, oh my god, look at this. It's 1,800 to 700.
It's actually really funny because Huck is not afraid at all to play this passive. A few Stalkers are trying to do some work in the middle of the map, and he gets 1 or 2 Vikings for his efforts and gets a medevac. MajOr wants to fight. Huck just wants to defend. He's warping in more High Templars, but I don't think he has any Storms. I think there is 1 High Templar with energy for 1 Storm. That's what it is. There is 1 Storm in his army of Huck. There is 1 Storm, but there's so many Stalkers though. There are Immortals as well.
Ooh.
I think Huck can win this fight.
This is an amazing angle for Huck. All of his Colossi are participating in the fight. The Ghosts are going to fall almost immediately.
All
and
the Vikings.
The Stalkers actually clean it up.
All the Vikings have fallen. Now if Huck counterattacks, I really don't think that MajOr can ever get enough Vikings out to deal with the remaining. It's just 3 Colossus, but 3 Colossus push out so much damage. And there is a Templar Archons as well, so Huck can warp in High Templars. Ooh. He can warp in Archons if he wants to.
What an entertaining match. I mean, the bar fight description suits it well. These players are slugging big back and forth at each other, and in just a sensational turnaround, launching everything at an almost exactly perfect concave.
It's 81 supply against 91 now, 96 now army supply, and we do have 7 Vikings, so MajOr has about time to get a few units out. He's very low on the medevacs, and massive drop in the main base will actually perhaps get the shield upgrades. Feedbacks will land. I love the feedback, Sean. You know I do. The robotics facility will get picked off, so no additional Colossus. Well, there's still 1 robo pumping, but not too.
Well, with the single medevac, oh gosh, I mean the medevac, every time a medevac dies, I'm surprised at how quickly the Marine Marauder force falls apart. You can't understate how critical the medevac is for everything that MajOr can rely on. They're used to keep Huck on the defensive, to open up possibilities, to open up these advantages. As we've seen in these direct army engagements, the Colossus count is just too damn high.
Yes, a lot of cannons being warped in as well on the left side of the map is going to make Huck's life a little easier. MajOr wants to deal some real economic damage. He wants to make sure he doesn't have to worry about that crazy mix of 8 Colossus and 14 High Templars or something like that, as Protoss players sometimes have. And I apologize, by the way, I have hiccups. This is awful, Sean.
Oh my god, no, I know they're tension hiccups. Just let it roll, brother.
I'm actually really afraid to speak now.
Don't worry about it. Just make those cute little hup-hup noises. Medevacs, nowhere to be found. It's all Viking clock for MajOr. As the entire army of MajOr advances forward, we're starting to see that there's not even really that many medevacs to heal. Where's the storm? Where's the storm? Not quite there yet.
Marines are going to try to get High Templar, not succeeding in doing so. The Marauder, however, will take it down, but it wasn't for free in the long run. 7 or 8 by units did fall. I've seen Huck play some incredibly patient games on this map. Once again, he's going to blink to the high ground. He's doing that very well. Pick off a couple of these SUVs. It's a very low eco game from this point. 45 against 25 workers.
At this point, the Colossus count doesn't even matter as much. It used to be 7 Colossus and no Templar, but now there's 6 Templar on the field and 3 Archons and 4 Immortals. The muscle of Huck's army continues to swell. And in the right side, we see third base getting a little mined out for MajOr. On the left side, third base getting a little mined out for Huck. And the gold, again, means that if you can stay alive, the gold will let you have the beginnings of a comeback. And Huck's in no position to take his own gold.
Actually, the armies are going to clash on the south side of the map over here. The medevacts are a little exposed. Forward playing Stalkers are going to try to work on Vikings, but the Marauders say no, not today. At the same time, MajOr can drop in the main base as well, but not before losing a lot of his Vikings. Actually, he's going to lose all of them.
Every Viking down for MajOr. Again, a couple of small groups of key units getting a little lost. The last remaining robotics facility is very likely to fall. Oh god, those feedbacks so dirty, eliminating all the efficiency of the units.
Loving it as well. MajOr is doing a real good job in hanging in there. Huck still has a bit of money in the bank as well. Though has to most likely reply. I'm so sorry, Sean. I can't do anything about it.
You got this. You're doing great. I'm going to make you keep going. Watch this.
Don't do it to me. Either way, these Marauders will fall in the main base. At the same time, MajOr is again trying to run to the south side of the map, but Huck is aware of this. Huck is on the money. He has a couple of High Templars. Could land 6 storms. Reasonable connections there. Feedbacks. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All he needs to do is feedback.
Oh, and doesn't quite manage to find the last one, but those 3 were good enough. MajOr is still hanging on, still clinging for survival. Colossus out in the middle of nowhere. Medivacs with no energy, trying to do anything they can to apply pressure back, but look at the hit squad of Zealots.
Both players are playing so fun. You can really see they're not really using 1 or 2 control groups to control all their units. There are like multiple squads running across the map, but now Huck said enough is enough. He's sending in Zealots out the turret. He's running to the gold as well. He's killing all of these SCVs. Huck has killed 88 workers. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, over 100 workers have lost their lives in the making of this game. A Nexus does fall. And I mean, MajOr is starting to find some holes, starting to find some opportunities. But every time it looks like there's a little bit of hope, suddenly there's some Zealots, suddenly there's some Archons, or more characteristically, suddenly there's everyone.
It rains storms all over the place over the remaining units of MajOr, and Huck will go 3-0 in his MLG group. That's actually fantastic. That's really impressive.
I think that's a big surprise for a lot of people. I mean, in that group, you have Patreus, who's just famously been training nonstop. Violet making the big comeback. MajOr, the silent player who's been on Korean pro teams. You got Mini Razor, the top Zerg in Sweden, according to some. And then Huck, the person that people love to say, oh, he's going to do a gateway all in. We still see the characteristic aggression from Huck, but we see his ability to play in long games and his ability to play extremely well in crazy games. The bar fight Protoss.
No, this was really fun. It was a scrappy series, but a very entertaining one nevertheless. I think I'm just going to stop talking, Sean. It was very fun casting this series. I have no idea what's up next in this stream, but I'm sure you'll tell the people at home. And I'm going to stop talking before I have a hiccup again. Fuck.
We're going to step away to a break. Please tune in to both MLG streams, the main stage and here in the backup hidden stage. When we return, more StarCraft 2 action to close out day 1 of MLG Anaheim 2014.